Oh,
Show yourself. You tell
I flashed her up top. It's coming around behind.
I don't know what's happening. Like a latency thing. That was weird.
He's resin. He res on the plant side.
Right here. Right here. Other one's there. She's gonna try to shoot me. Maybe not.
Not today.
What?
What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Talon gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about the future of Rogue Company in 2023. So let's head over and check it out. So Rogue Company in 2022 has been a very interesting experience, to say the least. There have been a ton of ebbs and flows that have came with a lot of the updates in this past year, and I think that the game is currently in a very, very odd state at the particular moment. There's been a lot of good things that have came out of 2022, but there's also been a lot of bad things that's come out of 2022. The game did go full release, and with full release, we were under the impression that things would be getting better, that things would be getting fixed, that things would be getting balanced correctly, and that just didn't happen. We were also promised by the community manager that there would be a huge push in marketing with it releasing out of beta. That hasn't essentially happened from what I can gather. We've also seen the competitive side of Rogue Company rise and then fall just as quickly as it rose. We've also seen the Project Saint initiative that was supposed to be put in place by the developers as ways to focus on quality of life updates, bugs, balance changes, and things like that. That has more or less completely fell off the map as well. I know that 2022 has been a very interesting year. I know that a lot of good has came for the game and a lot of bad has came for the game. And at this particular moment, I would say that the bad far outweighs the good, but there has been some really, really good things that have been added into the game, like quick play, strikeout, ranked, things like that. I know that they have tried to expand the player base as much as possible, and we also got a collab with the Walking Dead update, even though you kind of see that a lot of people either weren't interested in it or didn't want to shell out that much money in order to get the skins that they actually wanted. I mean, whenever you release a collab that is like over $100 to get everything in it, you can't expect your small player base to front that type of money for something that that is essentially just a cosmetic item. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Now, where would I like to see Rogue Company go in the future in 2023? That's something that we've kind of talked about on this channel a pretty decent amount the last couple of videos that I've uploaded about the current state of the game, where the game needs to go, and what the developers need to focus on in order to deliver a quality product to the consumers. The game currently feels like it doesn't have any type of vision. There's no trajectory in order to follow this game to see where the end goal is. It's gone through many, many ups and downs as far as how the game flows and what the game is kind of centered around. You saw it go from being a competitive third-person shooter tactical game into a more casual, laid-back respawn experience. Then with the uprise in the competitive scene, they tried to take some of that tactical play back, and they also tried to introduce new things to balance characters around to, variable success, I guess you could say. And then it's kind of sitting in this limbo state currently. I think going forward, they need to firmly establish what the game is, what they want the game to be, and also where they want the game to go going forward. I feel like that they've lost a ton of players in 2022, but I also feel like that they've gained a pretty decent amount of players. I know it's not where it needs to be, and I know it's not where the developers and also Hi-Rez wants it to be, but I think with the right push and the right attention to details that the player base is actually looking at, that you could accurately bring those player numbers back up. A lot of the things that I'm going to say in this video are things that are just going to be repeated from me or various other content creators out there, but there is a huge, huge lack of attention to what realistically needs to be focused on by the developers. Like I said earlier, a vision and a direction for the game would be the #1 priority in my opinion, along with a new matchmaking system that is completely reworked from the ground up to try to alleviate some of the stress and pain points that a lot of the players are experiencing, especially since forced crossplay is a thing and has been a thing for a while. The state of the servers is something that is very laughable to a certain degree because they're not the worst servers I've ever played on, but they're consistently not good. And that seems to be a big issue with a lot of the player base in the community. I played the game on purpose while I was downloading an update for another game just to try to test the experience that a lot of players have with a lesser internet connection. And with that, there are more bugs, there are more inconsistencies, there are more issues. So I see a lot of the players' frustration. I also see the developer side when they say that it's more of the client side and as opposed to more server side. I get that. But some games have built-in functionality to where they can balance that out correctly within their server system, and that's something that Hi-Rez and First Watch Games lacks for their game, so it may be something that would be worth investing in, especially since not everybody has gigabit fiber optic connections all over the planet. Another good thing to focus on here is actually doing quality of life changes that the community wants, and also focus on balance for the rogues. There's a ton of rogues that are in a pretty good state, in my opinion. There's not a lot that needs to be done with them, and I know that they can see the numbers of who's played more often, what the pick and ban rate for certain rogues are, and exactly what the performance numbers for those rogues are. It would be nice if we had access to that information, but I also know that that's not something that is ever going to happen. So I wish that they would take some of these less played rogues, some of these more niche rogues, and kind of broaden that spectrum up a little bit by maybe changing their perks up a little bit, or maybe reworking some of their passive and active abilities, much like they did with Fixer. I thought Fixer was in a good spot. I thought that his passive and active ability was really good, but they decided to focus on fixing his kit as opposed to fixing someone else's kit, such as Mac or Cannon, or insert any other rogue here that is not played anywhere near as much as Fixer is. That's just kind of how I look at it. So I do think that they could take a look at a lot of those things and see exactly where those dips and those deficiencies in play rate are, and actually take time to go in and do something to bring those characters' popularity up just a little bit with the player base. And I know that there's certain characters that you're just not going to be able to get away from as far as popularity wise, like Ronin, Lancer, Saint, Vi, because they're mainstays, right? They've been in the game since the beginning. They're characters that a lot of people enjoy playing. They like their play style, and I get that. But there's also people that rotate around to all of the rogues, myself included into that, and you can definitely see where these rogues outweigh these rogues because of their kits, perks, etc., etc. They also said in Project Saint in 2022 that they were going to slow the release of content for the game to focus on certain aspects of the game that needs to be adjusted. And with that, I believe we've only got, 2 rogues this year, maybe 3 rogues this year, and maybe, 1 map, maybe 2 maps with the skirmish maps. So that is something that is severely lacking, and a lot of people actually want brought into the game is more content. Now, telling the player base that you're not going to be bringing more content into the game because you're going to be focusing on bug fixes, quality of life things, etc., is fine. I think the player base respects that. But when you don't do that either, you can definitely see why the player base is frustrated with Rogue Company at this particular moment. What I'm really hoping for in summary of all of this is that in the 2023 season, they actually come out, decide what type of game they want to be, pick a direction they want the game to go in, have a clear vision that is communicated with the community, and then they stick to that plan and balance everything around this particular version of the game, this particular vision. I understand people want to drop into the game and do different things. You have TDM, you have Strikeout, you have various respawn modes, and you have just a handful of single life game modes. A lot of people came into the game expecting more single life game modes since it was a tactical third-person shooter, and that has kind of gone the way of the dodo, and more respawn modes have been added over time. If you want your game to focus on respawn game modes, that is fine. That is essentially going to be balanced around a faster TTK, which is going to make Demolition in turn feel just a little bit better, in my opinion, by slowing the action down a little bit and having more focus specifically on the tactical aspect of the game. So they need to have a clear vision presented. They also need to take a look at a lot of the pain points that players just continuously talk about ad nauseum. Matchmaking, servers, content, bugs. Those are the four major things that they need to focus on. And one of them they can omit from that: content. They can absolutely omit content. If they came out tomorrow and said that they were going to not release anything else in the game, no battle pass, no cosmetics, no nothing, and that they were going to invest all their time in getting their servers where they needed to be, getting their matchmaking where it needed to be, fleshing out their crossplay situation, and then also focusing on any outlier bugs after all this is taken care of, I would be 100% for that. I know a lot of people would not, but me personally, I would, because it would be a more pleasurable experience. And that means that whenever we do start getting more cosmetics and more in-game content, that it's going to be better balanced and it's going to be for a better game. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you want to see from Rogue Company in 2023? I'm very interested to see what you guys think. And also, I'm very excited to see what is going to be coming in the next year, because it can't be any worse than the 2022 year. It has to go up from this point forward. Be sure to let me know what you think. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
They went out the back side of the house.
Duke's still in here. Yeah.
One just dropped out of the back of the house.
You doing running?
They're both up there.
Or out the side.
He's one shot.
Definitely was one.
Utility out.
She's flashed.
There's poison up there.
All opponents eliminated.
Yeah.
Great.
Alright, this is where it fucking matters.
Show yourself.
They're not in house.
I see them shooting drones out of here. Yeah. Yep. They're pushing too.
Mid door's open.
God damn it!
Duke's in there.
Juke and Ronan.
You got this side.
Yeah. He's one shot. Ronan's in there.
Well,
Lethal out.
nope. Dahlia's.
Utility out.
Oh, a bullet! Oh!
Scanners active.
She's got drone back there behind her.
Enemies have armed the bomb. Disarm it.
Weird.
What?
There's a drone.
Bombs over here.
Pants on her ass.
I'm defusing the bomb.
If I was there, I'd do the default dance.
Give him a suck
Memory
it.
of our Ronan.
You all made that look easy.
One man.
That was weird though.
Yeah, dude, I thought I fucking shot her when I came around that corner to stop the health regeneration delay.
Oh, she skipped across the screen.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
What? No juke boots. That's not what juke boots are like.
No better. They gonna get no better than that.